How you doing, my friends? This is Wiz Joel Bosch. I am the lead developer here at the IOC development team, and we had not done this in a while. So whoever's watching now live and whoever's going to be catching this a little bit later on, just go ahead and chill. We're going to be going through a bunch of stuff that we haven't discussed in a long time, actually. So I'm excited. I'm excited to be with you guys today. And you guys can either chat right there, either on Twitch, YouTube, or through Telegram for the questions that you might want to send over to my way. So, it's certainly been some interesting years here with our project, and I'm just excited to talk to you guys today and get you up to date on how we're thinking, what's happening with the dev team, the community, and a bunch of other stuff that usually people are asking me, on a daily basis. So I'm gonna kind of go a little bit slow right now just to allow some of our community members to get right in. And I'm going to go ahead and check. It looks like people are logging in right now, coming into the chat. So that's, we're going to give them a little bit, like 30 more seconds, and I'm going to get going. But as you guys are right there with me, just to go back for the people that are joining us for the first time, IOC was launched in 2014. That's when 2014. And in all reality, it was basically a bunch of developers, including myself, with the dream of trying to better, I guess, crypto projects at the time, because there was a lot of ICOs going on, a lot of scamming going on. So we said, is there a way that we could launch a project, where people are not going to get burned and, we're going to actually get some work done, especially around proof of stake. And that was kind of like a tough subject back then, because everybody was doing proof of work. Everybody was mining, their blockchains and, especially Bitcoin and Litecoin. And then here comes a bunch of people, Sunny King, Rat4, the Black Coin community, Vericoin community. And it's bad, but, we thought maybe we could find a better way of securing the blockchain where other people that don't have, big mining rigs that could possibly come in and help us secure a blockchain. So I guess that's what Sonny King was probably thinking about, along with the rest of the people and myself. And we started pushing. And we pushed to the point where people were just calling us crazy. And now fast forward all these years and look where we're at. I mean, I've been amazed, with all the push that's been going on. So here in the background of myself, we have Deanne. I hope you guys take some time and go through our announcement thread, just at least the first pages, so you could see what we were talking at the time. But hey, we are here to basically start digging into what we're doing currently today and the things that are about to come for IOC. So I just want to get started with our website. Our website was for a while not being updated so much, and we decided this year to update our website, so that, because that's the main hub where people are at least gonna go and check us out for the first time. And when they go to our website, one of the first things that we really want to get to our people is staking, right? And now that's a big word. It used to not be so big, and now it's like a huge thing. Everybody talks about it. But I guess the difference between IOC and some of the projects that use the word staking is that for us, staking really means something. We're really securing our blockchain. In other projects, it's more of a reward and yield or delegation of your tokens to a third party baker, and then they do the work, and you get a reward, for staking. But for us, stakers are, they act kind of like miners. They have to keep up, with the blockchain. They have to download it. So there is some work involved. But that's our main focus, because we believe that as more independent nodes come onto our blockchain, the stronger our security and the stronger the the blockchain in terms of decentralization, right? We become. So as we don't have our entire power being, just like one particular entity or two entities staking all the power, or all the coins, So we preach that a lot. We preach that a lot here on IOCoin. So that's what we wanted to get across, at least. And right here we have all of our wallet links. So anybody that's interested in downloading our current wallets, they can go ahead and click those links. We have our IOCoin API that basically talks about all the functionalities of our current daemon. We have a bunch of features on IOCoin that are very important to us. And as I go along into the AMA and the information that I'm about to give everybody, I'm going to dig into why it's so important, what we have done in our view, right? We also have our white paper here, and then we have our IOC wiki. I'm going to go ahead and click on that just to get you guys to see it. We are in the process of creating this wiki page, obviously, with all the core information of IOCoin, our launch date, consent. People are going to find some very incredible information in terms of the way our blockchain operates. Of course, if you know Bitcoin has, their blocks are 10 minutes to confirmation. For IOCoin, our confirmation times are 60 seconds, but they do vary. Meaning if we have more transactions that are coming in and hitting the blockchain, our blockchain confirmation times go down to 16 seconds per block. So that is a very, very good key in our view to aiding those times where the network is getting pounded with transactions. So the wiki is going to walk everybody through all of that kind of information and, our supply and all of that. But also, we have a wallet installation guide. So if you're a first comer to IOCoin and you don't know how to install the wallet, and it may be a little more confusing, you can definitely go to the wiki, and the wiki will kind of guide you through on how to install the IOCoin wallet. For us, because it's a full staking wallet, right? It's not an HD wallet, and I'll say it, explain it. Staking wallet, basically full decentralized node. You have to download all the blocks, and you then install the wallet, bring down all the blocks. If you do it without a bootstrap, it's going to take about 5 to 6 days. If it's Bitcoin, could take upwards to 30 days because they have a longer history in their blockchain. But for us right now, we're around 5 to 6 days, 24/7 for a download of our full blockchain. But we have something called a bootstrap there. So if you have a Windows wallet, or you have an OXX wallet, or Debian, right, Debian wallet, you can definitely get all the information there on how to install the wallet. Obviously, we just talked about the bootstrap, so that we'll walk you through how to download the bootstrap and get it all installed. It also has our video tutorials, so if you don't know how to do it, you can follow our video tutorials there. And something that we've been talking about for a while in the community is, hey, I know that you guys have these features, but I mean, how do they work? And for somebody that's more technical, like a developer, so that's where the console commands come in, which is also the API. So console commands, APIs, and basically our blockchain enables a bunch of features which can then be used for our next feature, which is digital files. So you can take a name, register it on our blockchain, and then you could call that particular digital file, that particular name, in a private way. So whereas you have it, you basically upload this file attached to that DNS or alias, and then you can store it. There is no basically there is no time limit. You have that file stored forever in our blockchain. There is a fee associated with the upload. That fee goes back to the stakers, who are the ones that are doing all the work to ensure that they hold this file. So that's why stakers are very important. They not only get their staking reward, but they also get, rewards as to this file uploads or when they register an alias. And then we can go also down to another feature, which is really an amazing thing we worked on for so many years, at least 2, which is encrypted communications or encrypted messaging. All the encryption that we use in our blockchain is AES 256. That's the highest level of encryption. And it took us a lot of work. We had to get this to function and work, and this messages to flow and confirm within 16 seconds. Now, messages are almost instantly, they go through the blockchain, but then the transaction would then confirm in 60 seconds if we're getting a bunch of messages that are coming through. So you don't have to wait 16 seconds to see the message. It's just a confirmation of the block and for the staker to get their reward. But a lot of people think of messages like, oh, well, we could just talk on the wallet, and, that's cool. There's a bunch of other, applications that do it. Well, it goes a little farther than that, because it's not only just regular messages like the ones that we can send to each other, but it could be that, a company wants to use our blockchain and they want to send encrypted messages to control something. And at the other end, they have another daemon that's, reading those messages, and they're not going out in the open on a centralized server. So that's just to get your mind going that you're going to have all this broken down for you. And it talks about here the store and transfer of digital files. So going a little bit back when I was talking about the name and attaching the file to the name and uploading it for yourself, you can also have this file transferred to someone else in the IOCoin blockchain, another user, in an encrypted way. So it's a private transaction between 2 individuals. So not only do you show proof of existence, right, that you're the owner of this particular file when you upload it, and if you are that person, you get your hash, but you can also send it to someone else. So now we're talking a lot about NFTs. So in IOCoin, we do have this capability, copyright that you could potentially store and, and do this transaction in our blockchain and having that hash, but not only the hash and the transaction information, but also a hard digital, say, copy file of what you uploaded into our blockchain. So that's just a little bit of a walkthrough for the newcomers that are coming in and don't know really the story of IOCoin. Obviously, IOCoin was launched via proof of work, just like Bitcoin. We had a 2-week mining period. There was no ICO. I personally mined along with the community members. I did not, so we really thought that was the way to launch the project, therefore not having any type of situation where they could say that there is some type of security thing going on or something else. Everybody in this community has purchased their own coins, and we work, all of us work in love of what we're doing. That's what's going forward. But at the same time, what we love to do is to push the boundaries of blockchain. And I'm gonna now deviate a little bit from the wiki. You guys are welcome to go in there. And I'm gonna go into the history now of IOCoin, but in a short-term matter. I have a Medium account. It's under WizRig. And you could look for the title IOC, a proof-of-stake blockchain since 2014 on the road to success. And I'll explain that a little bit later. But there, it basically goes step by step on how we launched the project, when it happened, all that went into it, our vision. And like I said before, we had a vision of trying to secure this blockchain in a completely different way, which was unknown at the time. Not too many people, or if it was known, a lot of people were saying it's not gonna be the go-to way of securing stuff. And 6 years later, it's proven that it is right now the go-to way of securing, or at least the favorite of the top contenders in the blockchain communities like Ethereum, and now we have ADA. And so this to somebody like me, that started back then with the stream along with other people, it's something to be proud of, because a lot of our communities did not take, like I said, ICO funding. So the investment that we did, for the technology, even though, some of these coins may not be at the top 10, in market cap, they brought so much to the table because it aided others to see that there was a potential in a secure way of bringing blockchain forward to more people. Remember that via proof of stake, you could have a wallet, okay, download it into your laptop, Raspberry Pi, and run a daemon, and be part mining equipment or spend money on energy costs. So, and again, not to knock on Bitcoin, that is the way that we're all here, and we should celebrate, what the Satoshi group did. I call it group because that's just what I think. But again, we just have to be proud of where we are at in terms of us, IOCoin, but what we did in the space. We pushed forward. And it was a lot of conversations on Twitter back then. I mean, people were just throwing stuff, the miners didn't want to have it, because and the sellers of mining equipment, they just didn't want to have it at the time. But now that I think about it, there is room for everybody. There's room for everybody. They're really here because people wanted to tinker around with stuff. They wanted to, can we do this? Can we do that? And a lot of them didn't make it. A lot of them, through trial and error, just didn't make it, and they went on to new communities. Other ones just flat out were scams. So for a project like IOCoin, okay, going on 6 years, and as the founder of the project, co-founder of the entire project, looking back, because this year it's going to be, I think, our 7th year, if my mind is correct, right? I couldn't have imagined that we would have been here alive and way further than where we're started. We started with just a regular blockchain, and going through this story that I put here for everybody to read, and and the announcement. I mean, our mission statement in 2014, and I'll read it. It's just ease of use via wallet UI, switching from Bitcoin QT to a full HTML5 wallet. We wanted to see if that would work in terms of the UI. Not that the QT in the backend was bad. It's just we wanted to see if we could push how it looked, and if it would be more slick looking. The QT tended to look a little bit more, gray and more technical. And then we wanted to create semi-centralized name server aliases. We called it ions, And then we wanted to ensure the viability of proof of stake. That was their vision in 2014. And before I just told you that, I was speaking about where we're at. And where we are today, we have encrypted communications. We have data storage. We have 4 megabyte blocks tested. In all the proud there of all the work we have pulled off. Again, with no ICO. It's just pure hard work. So everybody that's listening to me, just know that this is very important work. And I'm going to now, as I go along, the medium, and I want you guys to, just go back and look at it. We made, our first Bitcoin conference, and we had the opportunity to speak about IOCoin. And a bunch of us came to Miami, and I want to thank everybody that showed up in Miami. And we had an opportunity to showcase our project and talk about proof of stake when, is the Miami Bitcoin conference, right? So it was a lot of conversations about proof of work and Ethereum at the time that was coming on board. A lot that we were putting on a table that we were going to do. And nobody knew if we were going to get it done or not done. And, you know, that's where Diance came in, and we continued to push forward. We won a bunch of awards, you know, with the fintechs and the Benzinga Awards. We later on formed the IO Digital Foundation, and we did a bunch of stuff through the foundation. And basically we created the foundation because as the years went on in the crypto space, the exchanges or different entities, they wanted to be able to speak to people about different subjects and matters. So we had to form a foundation so that we could speak on behalf of our community on matters relating to the block, other CoinDesk, I believe, and so on. But I think the important thing of guiding you through this journey is so that we never forget that it took a lot of work to get here. And now we have a situation where we have the Ethereums of the world. We have, you know, ADA going strong into proof of stake, but they're coming on the scene with I would say, a smart contract platform that they pioneered. We have to say that they pioneered the smart contract platforms in terms of, you know, the general public, right? And a lot of people may look at IOC like, well, you know, but, you know, you guys are not there, and, you know, I understand that you have this and that, but so this is going to be my explanation back to the people that are thinking that we might be behind and that others are ahead. Those that are or seem to be ahead to the people in the smart contract, and they are, as I said, they pioneered that, they are now changing the core underlying base, right, of the way they are securing their blockchain, and they're now going into proof of stake. We did that, and we've been running that way for 6 years. So we feel very confident in our security. Never, you know, you can never go to sleep and say 100 because, you know, in tech, we're always keeping an eye. But we're very confident of how we did our own proof, and we introduced shuffle staking, which is right here in the Medium, and you guys can dig and read about it on how shuffle staking works, which is essentially a more fair way of distributing rewards to even the stakers that don't have that much weight, which is coin. So as we focused on our core and we felt strong about it, we always said somewhere around 2015, 2016, we said there would not be a one blockchain winner in terms of utility. In the end, these are databases and they require, you know, multiple connections. And, you know, we knew that as technical people, you know, that day would come. And things that they can't do on a main chain that already has a core view as to what they want to do. And at that time, we started talking about a side chain, which we codenamed Chameleon. And in that video that I got there on our Medium, which was our latest Bitcoin conference, you know, presentation that we did in Miami, there I specifically spoke about Chameleon and what we wanted to do with the smart contracts. But we saw that at the time that enabling smart contracts was going to bring, it was going to be a boom. It was going to bring a lot of transactions, and the blockchain or the blockchains that got enabled to do something like that, and that's what we're seeing right now. We are seeing Ethereum fighting to keep those transactions going. At the same time, they're trying to move to proof of stake. They're trying to maybe increase the block size, you know, so that they can handle the amount of transactions. Then we got Polkadot, we got ADA, but that's pretty much the same core team of the Ethereum founders, right? It just in different projects, but trying to fix the wheel, if I would say that way, or improve it. Not necessarily maybe fix it, but improve it. But for us, we saw that and we said, we're gonna work on the plumbing. And when I say plumbing is when we have our encrypted communications, when we have our data, 1 megabyte storage, and we have our DNS system, that's all plugged into our core code. So it's not sitting as a feature of a smart. Our vision is like, now that we have this core things, and why do we think it's core? Because you have to imagine a world where not only do you do a smart contract, but you have the ability of sending an encrypted message to someone else that you did a contract with, right? And you want to keep that conversation in a private way and do that private transaction within that context. So that's just one thing. And it could be that now you're also doing, a contract in paper and not necessarily a smart digital contract, and you want to store it in the chain and you want to transfer it to someone else. And that's like something that it's unique now to us when we move forward to enabling the smart. And we want to start, we're thinking about starting as we put it on our roadmap and doing a VM, which is a virtual machine, on top of IOC. So that way, when we do Chameleon, both can then have the ability to interact via API, SDK, and in a binary way. So that's basically why we held up from getting into the frenzy. Now we're looking at all the possibilities of what the smart contracts can do and the limitations. So this is where we think we're going to shine in bringing our own flavor of abstract smart contracts. And in order for you guys to understand and here in our medium, we have a multiverse right here of public and private blockchains, which explains our vision of IO Coin, Chameleon, our smart contracts, and DIO-EX, and everything that we believe will be the things that we're going to be working on over the next few years, right? Because this is going to be an ongoing process of work and development. So I would like for you guys who are new to go check that out, get the history, get the way we're thinking. And last night, before I went to sleep, I was reading Humans of the World, truly looking into the power of NFTs, Gabe and Kevin O'Leary, and so on and on and on and on. And there's one thing that I am not sure if people think about. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it out there. And it's basically the fact that of the development of what we're gonna be working on. We're gonna need infrastructure, guys. We need infrastructure. You got Polkadot, you got ADA. They're going at it right now. Ethereum. There's probably a bunch of other. By the way, I do not have any of this cryptos, and there's not. Somebody feels, well, Ethereum gas prices are a little too much, or it might be a little too slow, or I don't pretty quickly, and they find that they don't want to wait maybe, or they don't want to pay the gas, or they just don't have Ethereum. So this is why it's important for projects like IOCoin that are still driving good technology forward, that we're just not doing properly, and we're doing it a little bit better. And now we're learning from the mistakes that they made, and now we're going to improve on that. And that's what we brought forward. They let the community know. For the IOC community, I'm going to get into a little bit of what I'm going to be working on over the next couple of weeks and months. First of all, so hopefully you guys are following along. The first thing is we're going to be updating. This is not okay. There it is. This is just our to the latest version for 2021. So that way our white papers updated with the latest information and the latest things that we're going to be doing for IOCoin and on. So I'm currently working on that. In there, we're going to have, a section for the smart contracts, on what we're thinking about doing for our VM on IOC. For Chameleon, that's already been released. And, we're going to get to that project, but we're going to try out a bunch of things first in the VM world, right? Through IOC for our users so that we can get our feet, right, on the water and start dipping our feet. It's very important. A lot of people want to go 100,000 miles an hour, but it's in this world, it's very important each step that we do. Keeping security at the head of things. That's very important because we're dealing with a bunch of stuff that are very important to people, and we don't want to, go so fast that we're missing stuff and then we're creating problems that we miss because we didn't want to, spend the extra time to look at something. So as much as I want to, we're still here in terms of our blockchain, and we have succeeded in not having 51% attacks and so on, is because we have really put in the time to ensuring that everything stays secure as it can be. But now we're going to get into the fray along with everybody else that's in it, with the Ethereums and the ADAs. Now IOCoin is going to get into the fray of the smart contracts, and we believe we're going to do a really good job. We got some really good ideas, and as those come on board, then that's going to open up the door for us to properly launch Chameleon. And it's very important that we do that correctly. It's a very ambitious project because we're talking about, in Chameleon now, we're talking about upgrading proof of stake and doing a completely different way of securing blockchain, something that we have been testing for a while, and users to download all the blocks on a blockchain. So to read more about that, you can go to our Chameleon graph website or our iocoin.io website, and you can simply click on Chameleon right here, and then that will take you to the Chameleon side, and you can read more on the white paper and what we're thinking about that. So backing up just a little bit and talking about what we're doing right now, and that's what we're doing right now is we are upgrading a Qt wallet to function along the lines of our features, which are a lot, and I just said it, that run in the pipeline. And because we just did it, and this is our current wallet that looks very slick. Now, the problem that we had with the wallet was that we originally built it as a widget, and it was just not, I would say, capable of handling at the time all the features that we did not really have in mind at the time that were gonna come on board. And as we started tacking on features and we started to tinker with the code of the wallet, it was just not working, with us that well. There's different branches and a lot of dependencies, and it was getting really messy. And we thought, look, instead of going in this route with this wallet, we might want to just get up, look okay, look nice, so that we can move to work on a back end, because that's very important to us. That's where we believe we're going to move a little bit faster and just get all of this stuff that we want out there at the same time while maintaining the security. So I'm going to open up a little, I think I have it right here, and I took it out this morning from our development computer. So if you see right here, we are trying, you see, to make that UI look as close as possible as the HTML5. Remember, this is a Qt. So in Qt, there's no this fancy JS, all that stuff. So you have to, start coding, all of that on top of it. So that's what we're doing. So we're trying to make it look, as close as possible as the current wallet. And that we are going to be giving it out to you guys very shortly. Over the next couple of weeks, we're going to give you a first version of the QT wallet. And then we're going to continue to add on the features that we have on the current wallet. So that way you guys get to use the QT wallet, get accustomed to the QT wallet, and you're going to start getting those features one after the other one in a couple of multiple releases. So that way we don't do it all in one batch and everybody just sits back, uses the wallet. It takes time for people to start upgrading and changing. So, that gives the time for the people that don't know that we're going into this new direction. And, if you want to continue to use the HTML5, you can, but we're going to want people to start getting used to the QT. We want to launch. Everybody's already accustomed to using our QT wallet, and it doesn't feel foreign to people. So we're going to take it one step at a time, as we always do, ensuring that we keep everything secure and that we're giving you guys something, because I know you guys are asking, when are we going to get it? When are we going to get it? So that's our view on that. So we're going to try to get that out to you guys so you guys can start playing around with the QT wallet. Hopefully, don't hold me to it, but hopefully we'll get it out to you guys in the next couple of weeks. We want to really, really bad try to get our VM smart contracts on IOC this year. That's what we want, right? And obviously we want to shoot for Chameleon. It's something that we really, really want. And then people, get the wrong impression. We're just going to say one more time, we really want to get this stuff out. So what that means is that we're working as fast as possible and we're pushing as much as we can. So hopefully I didn't, go too long in this journey of informing everybody as to where we're at, what we're doing currently, and our vision. So if you want to know our vision, it's right there on our website. CodeSig, Orphan Tools, encrypted group messaging, coming onto the QT wallet to then go on to the IOC abstract smart contract, get into that NFT stuff that we really want to get into. But when we come onto the scene, like I said, we're coming with the plumbing, which is encrypted communications. We have the file storage, we have and tests. So I feel that it's a little bit of a, they went this way, we kind of went that way, and let's see how it all works out. I think, I think we're doing great. I really do. And the area, as we're having this community chat, that I believe that we have to work a little bit better on as a community, is to do some of the things that we have been doing in the past couple of weeks. And I want to send a shout out to everybody in the IOCoin network or IOCoin community network group. I want to send a shout out to everybody there, because it took us a little bit of a grind there to kind of understand the mentality of what was going on. And in essence is, we have the dev team, right? And there are some areas that we can speak about and we can push and we're passionate about. So we love to talk about the technology. We're probably not the best people to talk. As you can see, I've been talking for all this time now about the technology and what we're doing. That's what we're passionate about. That's what we want to talk about. And then we know that there are other members that want to talk about different subjects. So that's where the IOCoin community network Telegram channel is available now for everybody that wants to go in there and have community chats. So that's on our website. You guys all have to do is click to go to their website and click to go to network Telegram. And there you can find a bunch of our community members that are going to talk to you about all different matters regarding the project. We decentralize. We make new friends, new community in Spanish. Adrian, shout out to Adrian, AMAs in Spanish, so that we can start to reach out. That's a community that's been, I don't know how, I don't see so many people talking to. And if we have members that I know that live in, in Germany, and they live in different countries, you guys, this is your first language, create communities, in your own language, do community gatherings, of IOCoin, bring the white paper stuff with you, Show them the wallet, download the wallet, show them how it works, get them involved in helping us out. You know, maybe they want to do a website that reaches out to other people. We need people from all over, you know. I want to also send a shout out to our friends in South Africa, and do some AMAs in Spanish, you know, and get them to understand what we're doing with proof of stake and all of that, which I'm sure they know because they follow, you know, all the projects. But I want to reach out to them in the Spanish language. So that's very important. We have to focus on, hopefully, which is another subject that's a little bit delicate, and I want to, you know, touch upon. And it's a little bit frustrating, and it's the fact that, for example, IOCoin and the way we view cryptocurrencies is that we are in a decentralized space, right? But it would be great if some of these exchanges would open to be able to distribute, you know, their coins through their means, right? And get other people involved, because like I said, nobody really knows if a IOCoin of the world might just solve something that Ethereum hasn't been able to solve. Because not that they're doing a bad job, but they have their hands full, and they're working on a bunch of stuff. And it could be that we come up with something in the contract world, and you know, like we pushed with proof of stake, and it helps everybody in the ecosystem. So we got to see if we could do a better job of reaching out to some of the exchanges to allow IOCoin to get into those exchanges, so that we could, you know, reach out to more people through our technology, and get them to see all the capabilities that we have in our IOCoin blockchain. So with that, I've been rambling just for a little bit. I'm gonna see if you guys have any questions, this is the time. I know that you guys had some questions on the Telegram, and I'm gonna hit, you know, one of them. I have it right here. And I'm gonna look at the chat. So let me hit some of this questions. I think I got one here from Richard. He says, will the QT work on a PI as well? Richard, as you know, the QT wallet, it's just it's just the QT wallet, so it's definitely gonna work on Debian. That's the reason why we wanted to go with the QT wallet, so that way it can work with more of the operating systems that are out there, OS X, Windows. This point gives extra point of security for many of us. Think no third parties around. Thank you, Adrian, for saying that. So what Adrian is saying is that a lot of people don't know, when people connect to, let's say, a MetaMask or they connect to an HD wallet, there is, you know, it's not a hardware wallet that's installed on your computer. And sometimes people get emails or they get certain things and they click on it, and then, you know, they get injectors in their browsers. Now, I said that a couple of days ago. I wanted to give a warning, stuff that they're trying to do. You guys got to be very careful on clicking stuff, you know. If you can get on a habit of not clicking weird, you have a different computer for your cryptos, you know. So that's something you got to keep in mind, because sometimes, you know, you get those DMs on Telegram or Twitter, or somebody sends you a funky picture, and then that could be, you know, a hack. And then they turn off your, you know, it turn off your firewall, and on and on and on, and then it becomes somebody taking over your computer, and next thing you know, they're sending coins or doing something if you don't have your stuff fully secure. But for us, as long as our users are keeping their computer secure, or you're keeping it on a separate system, right? We give that extra security because of that right there. Having, you know, store them on a USB, hard, all that stuff. Also, our YouTube channel, we basically do a walkthrough on how to properly download your private keys. Let me read another question here. You said to keep working on plumbing. But do we test the plumbing with the same network uses as ADA, Ethereum, etc.? Someone need to flush the toilet. I don't know what. We have those capabilities, and they are core to our blockchain. So when we have smart contracts coming up, we are going to have those core features for the users that may want to not also launch a smart contract, But they also, if they do an NFT, they may want to, instead of using IPFS or, Pinata, they may just say, no, I want to just, do this contract, but I also want to send the original file, compressed to some other user, and I want to do it on a one-to-one basis using our blockchain without a smart contract. So that's really what it basically means when I'm talking about our core features. Let me see if there's another question. I had seen another one here in our Telegram. I think it was about, it says here, hi Joel, can you tell us in your AMA for what legal reasons the core team decided not to implement Nighthawk? Very good question. So in the talk that I've done so far hard on Nighthawk, which is ring signatures for IOCoin, that work is done in all of that. So we had to take a pause. Have to possibly maybe give the legal rambling stuff that they do in the decentralized world, right? Gets their act together, and now there are possibilities for these crypto coins to be traded or accessed via exchanges in those countries that are currently saying we're not gonna add these coins. So then it became a legal situation for us and the community, and we decided to hold deployment of a legal situation, so to not get the coin itself into some type of legal rambling and confusion. Not only on this, but on a bunch of other stuff that's happening around, Ripple and other projects, if they have been launched as a security or not. So all this stuff, more clearance on how we are okay to perform, and it's all being done in a way where, our American counterparts can participate in the network from, ICO if they allow those again, and in a certain way, thanks allowing projects that do ICOs a 3-year timeline where they can launch the project, in an ICO way, and then if they reach a decentralized status within that time, then maybe they don't have to go through the SEC again. I'm not sure if that's 100%. It's something that I read, in the forums and in the news messages. So we have to keep our eye. But if we see that the doors open and we can deploy privacy on it, then we certainly have a bunch of work that's already been done. But we also touched on the technical side, and it was regarding how you launch ring signatures. And if you fork, right, you're not necessarily giving the users 100% privacy, because you did not do it from the beginning stages. And some of the blockchains that are out there have this, some of them had this problem where they didn't enable privacy at the time. So another thing that we brought up to the community was, we might have to restart the chain from scratch, Genesis block with privacy. So it may be that if everything works itself out, it may be something that we might use down the line with something else. Don't want to get into it because we just don't know enough, but the work is 80% done. It's there, and at least it didn't go to waste, but it took some time away from the current stuff that we were doing. Let me see if I have another question. Be missing some questions on Facebook. If Matt's around and you have more questions, Matt, feel free to send them over my way. And if you guys are in the chat, let me see if there's another question. IOC being made compatible for decentralized exchanges. Okay, yes, that's still the case. That's still the case. That happened right after Dion's. At some point, we had to enable a BIP that we did, and that was already done. That's already been enabled, and that's already been done. But I think that once we go with the smart contracts, and then you have Cosmos, you have a bunch of other APIs and SDKs that are out there it'll allow, for IOCoin to interconnect with the other blockchains side entropy ledger. So with that, let me see if I had something else that I wanted to share with you guys. This is basically, I had a diagram basically of what we were thinking. I can share it with the community. Basically, you guys are gonna see here all the blockchains and what we were proposing with CAM, which would be a CAM SDK, and the dev fees, the abstract smart contracts on Chameleon, and then we have IOC here, and us launching the VM on IOC so that it can communicate with Chameleon. Now from here, there could be a bunch of smart contracts that come on IOC, and then it grows around Chameleon and IOC. Remember, IOC is going to have those 4 megabyte blocks, the messaging capabilities, and those are things that are not going to be happening on Chameleon. Chameleon is going to be a completely different infrastructure, and IOC is going to be a very important part of the entire ecosystem as IOC performs, with those features, and then Chameleon is going to bring us the speed and the abstract smart contracts in conjunction with IOC, and with the ability for other chains to migrate to Chameleon. So I think with that, I think I've covered pretty much. So again, I just want to remind everybody, we're currently on the QT. I showed you guys how the QT is coming along. I showed you also how the white paper is coming along. We're going to add a section for the VM for IOC once we have that together. So we'll launch an updated white paper with the information of our VM that we want to do on IOC. And from there, as you know, we are going to dive heavily into the deployment of the smart contracts, the NFTs, and Chameleon, which we are waiting on to do the VM first on IOC and also test, Chameleon. Some of the things that we're doing is, we're playing around on the Ethereum testnet, and also we're going to be playing around with the DOT testnet. We're testing certain things, security things, plugging things away, just different things that we want to see how they perform in those platforms, and then we make an assessment as to the things that we want to tweak and change for our own code for IOC. So I think that brings us to a close here on our AMA for today. I'm going to be doing live updates or 5-minute videos on daily news, something that may come on to the scene, and giving you guys my opinion. I've been in the blockchain space now forever, I guess, and I guess a lot of people always ask me so many different questions, and sometimes I don't have the time to, grab a laptop and start typing away and having a conversation. So I figured that I would do the Wizrick show so that I could at least get my views out there on a daily basis of what's happening, and get some videos out there, what we're thinking, what I'm thinking in terms of daily news surrounding blockchain. So I think that with that, I just want to thank everybody that was here with me today for our project. And I just can't wait to get those things out to everybody that's part of the community. And to throw this one last thing to the community, let's continue to work on positivity of the things that we're doing, okay? Remember what I said. We need infrastructure. Don't forget that. We need infrastructure. Infrastructure is very important. As other projects, tend to get a little slow on a transaction or get too expensive, this is where the IO coins of the world come in. If we have good technology and user-friendly, we can offer, more routes and more features to others that may not be finding it somewhere else. So we need that infrastructure to continue to grow as the NFT right now in blockchain. So we got to be one of the projects that are out there offering, like I said, infrastructure and other possibilities for people to also launch their NFTs. Like my daughter, she's a designer, and she's now getting ready to as soon as IOC is ready to go, and other platforms like Ethereum or whatever, to share some of her artwork that she's been working on for so many years. And myself, I you guys know that I'm also a musician and I do music. So there's NFTs that got, that they're doing beats now. So, I mean, it's something that if I have some spare time, I could possibly do. So with that, I just want to again thank everybody that was with me today in the IOCoin AMA, and Rick, she's doing incredibly well. Very excited of the work that we're working on, along with everybody else that's helping us in this journey. And I guess I'm gonna talk to you guys again over the next couple of weeks, but you're gonna see some of the videos that I'm gonna be sharing through my Twitter account on different subjects, on different matters, on different projects. Again, we have to form alliances, we have to get out there, we have to talk to people, we have to grow, and that's what I think that we should all focus on for our community. Growing our community, holding hands with a bunch of other people that are talking and that want to move the technology forward. That's what we're here for. That's what we have always promised to do. Until next time, here on the Wiswick Show.